Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May praise be to Allah, the creator of the world, and peace and blessings be upon his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his family and all his companions. Respected judges and dear audience, today I want to address a critical question that resonates across the globe. Is democracy only a myth in present times? As we delve into this topic, let's consider the essence of democracy and how it is functioning in the world today. Democracy, in its ideal form, is a system of governance by the people, for the people, and of the people. However, when we look at the world around us, we must ask ourselves, are these ideals being upheld? Dear audience, firstly, let's examine the notion of representation. True democracy requires that elected representatives reflect the will of the people. Yet in many countries, we see political elites who are more interested in maintaining power than in serving their constituents. Money and influence often dictate electoral outcomes, leaving the average citizen feeling powerless and disenfranchised. The recent surge in populist leaders who are exploiting people's fears and emotions rather than addressing real issues further questions the integrity of democratic systems. Secondly, consider the freedom of expression and press. A cornerstone of democracy is the ability of citizens to freely express their opinions and criticize their governments. Yet across the globe, we witness crackdowns on free speech, censorship, even violence against journalists. In many democracies, the media landscape is increasingly controlled by a few powerful entities, skewing public discourse and diminishing diverse viewpoints. This raises the question, if people are not fully informed and cannot speak freely, how can they participate in a true democracy? Thirdly, let's reflect on economic inequality. Democracy thrives on the principle of equal opportunity for all. However, the growing gap between the rich and the poor in many democratic nations has led to a crisis of faith. When money and power are concentrated in the hands of a few, the needs and voices of the marginalized are often ignored. This economic disparity undermines democratic principles as the wealthy have more influence over politics and policy, pushing us further away from the ideal of a government. Dear audience, moreover, we must address the issue of voter suppression and manipulation. A functioning democracy depends on free and fair elections. Yet even in some of the most celebrated democracies, we see tactics aimed at suppressing voter turnout, such as strict ID laws, gerrymandering, and the spread of misinformation. When access to voting is restricted or manipulated, the very foundation of democracy is weakened. So is democracy only a myth in present times? Perhaps not entirely. Democracy is not a static concept. It is a work in progress, a constant striving towards ideals that may never be fully realized. It requires vigilance, participation, and a commitment to the principles upon which it was founded. However, it's clear that the practice of democracy today often falls short of its promises. In conclusion, while democracy may not be a complete myth, it faces significant challenges. It's up to us as citizens to demand transparency, accountability, and fairness in our democratic institutions. We must work towards making democracy not just a lofty ideal, but a living reality that genuinely reflects the will and welfare of the people. By doing so, we ensure that democracy remains not just a word, but a vibrant, dynamic force in our societies. Here I wind up my speech. Thank you so much.